So what I thought was we have about 60 minutes, which is not much considering the kind of topic we're going to talk about today. I'm going to talk about gender and its understanding in the Tibetan community in exile. As I said, it will be more like a training session rather than one person speaking, rather than a monologue. So the first question I'd like to really throw up is, what do you mean by gender? If someone may raise his or her hand and tell me, when we say gender, I'm sure all of us are aware of this word. Are we? Anyone who's hearing this for the first time? All of us are aware. Okay, what is your understanding of gender? Can you tell me?
Male, female.
Okay, male, female. All right, anyone else? You can throw up buzzwords also. When we say gender, what's the first thing that comes to your mind? Tell me an imagination or an image that comes to your mind when we say the word gender.
That's the sex of the people.
The sex of the people? Okay, male, female, sex of the people. Any other definition? If I may ask you, what's the image? What do you imagine, like when we say the word gender, what comes to your mind? What do you see? A pictorial description that comes to your mind.
How women were tortured.
Okay, women being tortured. Okay, we're getting close. Anyone else who wants to throw up an alternative definition to gender? Male, female, sex, women being tortured? Yes?
Sex roles, identity.
Sex roles and identity. Anything else?
Inequality.
Sorry, inequality. Okay.
Rights.
Rights. Whose rights?
Women's
Men and women. Okay. Anything else?
Balance between the men and female.
A balanced, gender balanced role between men and women or male female. Anything else? Okay. Yeah.
It is a societal distinction
Yeah.
based on Western culture.
All right, very good. Now, I think we have kind of constructed a very broad definition for gender. But you said sex, right? Why would you say that?
Actually, as she said,
Male and female? Yeah,
There's a difference in everything, right?
right.
So, like, the main point is equalism, treating equal to each other.
Treating, okay. So, I think when we say this word, I'm sure there's a taboo attached to this. There's a stigma. Anyone who says this word, people just look at her or him with amazement. You know, people also frown at you when you say this word. Do you agree? Yes. And he said it. Why do you think he said it? Okay. Now comes this word, gender. So, if someone may tell me, how are these two different? How is sex different from gender? Sorry?
It's not different.
Okay, it's not different. Okay, I'll mark your point. It's different. How?
Sex is biologically and gender is socially.
Right. Sex is male, female, right? The biological differences. Women can reproduce, men cannot. And basically the biological formation, which is, we say nature has gifted us, or we could say God's gifts or whatever, something that's that remains undisputed, something that we cannot debate about. You know, you can't say, okay, men also need to start reproducing. You know, that's something we cannot contest. We cannot argue about it. So that's more like static. It remains static. Now, gender, as you very well said, it's social construct. It's social, right? For instance, if I say, okay, girl, what would you say? Boy. Okay? If I say quiet girl, noisy boy, do you see a difference? right? Boy, girl, puda pomo. Pomo kusimbu, puke chao. Do you see a difference?
Yes.
And what would you call this now? No, no. Male and female is this. Quiet girl and noisy boy. You think it's nature? Character, okay. Inbuilt. Who said inbuilt? Who said inbuilt? How do you think it's inbuilt?
Quality of human gender.
But when we look at the people, everyone looks like that, right? So
Okay. Am I quiet now? In this room, I think I'm being the most vocal, the loudest, trying to be the most brave, and I'm still a female. I'm a girl. Right? So someone said inbuilt. Is there, what do you think of this difference? Quiet girl, noisy boy. Okay, for instance, something like 포무나시 깨자 망보 포무 푸나시 탁보 무에 메교. You've heard that, right? Men who cry like women, women who don't cry like men. 포무 탁보 빼요래 푸 북캬래 무그 코라 말에 여인 독도요래. We say that. What do you think of this explanation that's coming thereof? Sorry?
It's the nature of human gender.
Okay, someone's saying nature, it's natural, okay, inborn, inbuilt. Anything else? What do you say? Stereotype, okay, stereotype, and then
Gender discrimination.
gender discrimination, or maybe we could say gender differentiation, gender disparity, right? So, gender is any kind of stereotyping or discrimination or disparity or differences we make of men and women based on their sex. Do you get me? Okay, now as she very well said, gender is basically, it's not biological, it's not natural, it's not inbuilt, it's not innate, it's not something that's gifted by God and comes from birth, but it's something that the society makes of men and women. It's not created. It's society makes. One very simple example I would like to give you is, when we go out in the market, do you see someone like an old school friend of yours or a relative of yours carrying a month-old baby? And what's the first thing you ask? Pure pumure. Even 6 months you ask. 1 year also we tend to ask. Even if the baby cries, pure pumure. Right? Until we actually see the sex of that baby, we are like, pure pumure. Okay, come 3 years. The baby has turned 3. 3 years later, you see that baby walking, and you know it's a boy or a girl. How would you know that? Body? Voice? Sorry? Clothes? Someone said clothes. Yeah? And? Face as in how? Not the hair. Okay, hair I accept. Gela said face. How? How would the face be different? A baby boy and a girl at the age of 3? Name, very good. Clothes, name, and what else?
The choice they play.
Toys they play. Character as in how? Character as in, tell me, one character that a 3-year-old male would do and a 3-year-old female would not do. Running about, playing about, okay. Do you have any other explanation? Twice, okay. Twice, right? Okay. Clothes. Who put the clothes on the children? Parents or foster parents or uncle, aunt, relative. Toys. Who would buy? Do that girl at the age of 3 or 2 say, I want a Barbie doll, and do that male baby say, I want a ball at the age of 2? Sometimes, seldom. Okay, but maybe between the age of 1 year and 6 months. Do you think so? For instance, yesterday I was at a birthday party. There were these little kids, 1, 2, 3, male, female, both. They were a handful of balloons. Everyone went and grabbed them. And then there were these balls that they could play with. I saw that my friend's daughter, who's 2, she went and grabbed it first. And she even kind of grabbed it from her male friend who's 3-year-old. So these differences, these kind of explanations, these kind of assertions is something we as a society make. But if you ask me whether it's wrong to do that, I would say not really. It's not really wrong to, for instance, if I'm a new mother, obviously if I'm going to have a girl child, I'm going to buy anything that's pink, blue, orange. And if it's a boy, I would go for black, brown, dark blue, navy blue. As a mother, I would do that because I'm trying to adapt to the society that I live in, to the culture, the practices, the habits. That's a norm. And that is called, if you may note this word, it's called socialization. Social, society, social, so it's a part of our upbringing. It's a part of a society because if you're in a society, you need to adapt to its way of going about things. The culture that you have created in your society is what's going to define you, and you define that culture. But what is wrong is when you tend to do this. When you tend to stereotype and say girls cannot play with guns, or when you say, oh, it's shame if a male child is playing with a doll, he's being like a girl. So these kind of comments, for instance, last week we were at a family friend's place for dinner, and a 6-year-old boy, he cried, he crawled on the ground, he cried, and the mother said, stop being like a girl, it's such a shame, So these are what you call stereotypes that's so common in our society. Stereotype, I don't know if the technical word is thotakba, chetakba, thotakba, I don't know what the exact word is, but that's so strong. It's kind of, become a part of our nerves. It's a part of the nerves of the society, the kind of stereotypes that we do. So if I may ask, can you tell me some of the stereotypes that you often notice relating to women? Can you tell me some of the stereotypes? I'm not saying go to the Indian society or the Western society, but within our very small Tibetan community in exile, what are the common stereotypes? Shy. Sorry? Nyam chunju as in, how would we say? I would say very, what do you call it, decent. Pampu chinde, ra? Okay? Not have a voice on our own. Chiksamne shu mala, ra? Chiksamne pumura this kaga de put in la lapcho, ra? Voice of our own. Anything else? Nga chito nanglo la pomoda dewegi thotaya pomolana dinte gore. Okay? Sorry? Okay, pomolane put lagi pomo pogyan kecha manga jiorelani pula. Okay? Gossip. Kecha gossip lanta chemekyo kecha kungde mekyo. Kungde demba yekyo kecha sangma pugi shegi yore. Kecha chik dolana suru dolana ata pomode la yor de iche yo mare. We say that, right, in our society. Even I do that. I think all of us do that. Anything else? Po chocho re, right? Pomo like po chocho re, right? Sensitive. Then emotional. Semkyo chokcho, right? Then Semsangbo, okay. Kind, okay. That's a positive stereotype. Okay, anything else? Sorry? Respectful, right? Okay. So nganzo chuba dikhe ani sangmala ra. And men think twice before actually bowing down. But what? Narrow-minded. Pomolana pusu thokpo, ra? Po chocho. Okay, respectful. Anything else?
Compassionate.
Ningje yegyo. Ma ama chigi chiegi nuba chiyedu. So you're compassionate towards the other sentient beings. Okay. Emotional, we have it. Compassionate, then?
Passionate.
Sorry?
Passionate.
Passionate about what? What they do?
About working.
Working at where?
Working.
Home? Passionate about working at home. Okay? Okay. Nangle chia lepe gawo yore. Ra nyopja gaya pugu chapten tuya kyoga la seja soya ra pugi thuglo tuya boys hostel ladoni pugi thuglo len che tuya ra working at home. Someone said cooking. Okay. Pudong the what's hachim tapsang la jujubare. Do we say that? We say that, right? Okay. Okay. Fine. Now, I'm sure when someone said gender, sometimes inequalities, disparities, differentiations, not just for men, for women, but also for men. Pule yore. Obviously, I agree. So, can you tell me some of the stereotypes that's associated with men? Strong. Ra. Pula na chala. Jigo jigo jiri shash shash put into kachu. Ra. Okay. Then. Decisive. Okay. Pula na tachebo yore. Do you agree? Men are decisive, you agree?
Yes.
Okay, then? Frank? Keja khari ine nap thunge. Khari khapto re, koda keja being mare, purwa. Pomo ina chik sam ni shambas labgre, right? Frank, then? Sorry? A man of words. Kadin sigla ninge. Yeah? Kadin sigla ninge. Pula na. Okay, anything else? Stereotypes? Huh? What? Courageous? No, simple? Okay. Alright. Then, tell me. Puda bumunyi chai. Stubborn, right? Utu shiras kaya megyo, right? Bugu shusa shiras megyo. Okay, tell me. Huh? What? Reliable? Okay. Reliable. Okay, anything else? Anything else? Guys, speak up. Anything else? Sorry? Flirt. Men flirt, right? We say that, even girls say that about men. Anything else? Careless, right? Chalan yapu takbu gang mare, temba yapu swing mare, ngui lamsa torkire, right? Okay? Then? Okay. Men eve tease women, right? What? Did you say that? Eve teasing? Sulare? Eve teasing, who said that? Okay, explain.
Kind of things like it's also present in Indian society also. When the girls go on road ride.
So men eve tease. All right. Okay, anything else? Huh? Stinky? Men smell? They don't take bath often? Okay, all right. Then? Huh? Sorry? Boastful? Bragful? Boastful? What you said? Bossy? They like to boss around, right? Sorry? Generous? Girls, you agree? No? All right. Okay, now look at this. Okay, I'm going to do a bit of gender swapping right now. Can men be shy? Yes. Can men also be decent? Yes. Can men also not have a voice of his own sometimes? Yes. Today, I saw girls are speaking up more, you know. Can men gossip? Can men also get hurt? Yes. Can men also sometimes be narrow-minded? Yes. Yeah? Can men also be compassionate? Yes. His Holiness is a man. God is man. Man is God. Compassion. Right? Okay. Can men also be passionate about housework? Okay. Can men also cook? Yes. Right? Yes. Okay. Can women also be strong? Yes. I worked at TWA. We once went to Kalachakra, Bodh Gaya, with I think almost 150 kilo luggage on a car. The car actually, the tire got punctured. So it was our vice president, Samdinda, actually fixing it. And our driver was taking a fag break. So I think it all depends on your willpower, right? So can women also be strong? Yes. Can women also make decisions? Yes. You do in your everyday lives. You make decisions for your family, for yourself, for your community, for your friends. Okay, man of words. Can women also be women of words? Kadin siglanenge? Yes. Yeah? Okay. Someone said generous. So women would say women are more generous. All right. So basically the point is, it needn't always be this way. Right? It needn't always be this way and that way. And men can have these characteristics, women can have these characteristics. So to say, to give a fixed opinion or an impression of men and women based on their sex is what you would say gender discrimination or creating gender differences. For instance, last week we had a 5-day legal empowerment of Tibetan women in exile. We had that and we got an audience with His Holiness. And so we were waiting at the private office compound. And there was another group, a Western group on our other side. We were all there, we were all ready to pose for the group picture. And with the other group, what happened was there were two to three small kids. So we were all ready, waiting for His Holiness. You can just imagine the aura, all of us feeling very blessed. All of us were very serious about how we would, receive him into our group and take a picture and, request a few things of His Holiness. And suddenly what happened was when everyone was quiet, one baby fell down. One of the babies fell down, and in our group, we were like 55 women and 10 men. All the women screamed, "Amma!" And all the men were just sitting like this. So one of our participants, we had just studied gender the other day. She looked up at the male participants and said, "Why didn't you scream?" She said, that's gender. All the women screamed, "Why didn't you scream?" And you know what the men said? "I screamed from my heart." I said, "Nikeshus." So after the audience, we told him, "Why didn't you scream out in the open?" Because he said, that's so unlike what a man would do. Basic example, a baby falls down, both men and women feel for that baby. But because it's a public place, people are looking at you, the women scream or speak up, the men, they feel, but they're concealing their feeling. I mean, isn't it like a torture for that man? You feel about something, but because of that identity, because of that socially constructed identity that we have of men, strong, who would not cry, who's not emotional, who's not sensitive, who doesn't care much about family and household work, because of that constraint, because of that boundary that society has drawn around men, they're not able to be themselves, not able to express themselves in situations like this. So this, what I would say, is puts a constraint on that person. Because he or she is not able to follow his or her beliefs. My belief is that all of us as human beings have have the capacity for compassion, have feeling, are capable of this, are capable of that. But because the society has told you this is what women would feel, this is what women are not supposed to feel, we're not able to actually liberate ourselves. We're not able to express ourselves fully. And what this happens is puts a constraint on the society at large. Because if you look at the Tibetan community in exile, as you very well said, gender identities, gender roles. Roles, all the home mothers, I'm sure a lot of us have studied in TCV schools or in other boarding schools. All the home mothers or foster parent are who? Women. Why would we do that? Because more compassionate. I said His Holiness the Dalai Lama, the epitome of compassion, peace, is a man. So doesn't that contrast chasumaso? Right? Okay, now if you look in CTA, everyone at the top level, decision making, are all
Men.
very less women. I think according to 2009, in the decision making arena in CTA, it was, I think, a mere 3% of women in the decision making body. Today, I think we just have one female secretary. She's been appointed as the, South Africa rep. So the entire Kangjin Kishong is devoid of even one female secretary. Why do you think it's like this? This scenario, because I agree, equal opportunities, equal education. In fact, there are more female students graduating after class 12, and even at the college, if you go to the Shirik Legun statistics, according to that, there are more female students studying in colleges, doing professional courses. But why do you think when it comes to the workforce, we do not have a gender balanced workforce? Why do you think so? I'm sure there must be a reason for that. Can anyone tell me? Why? I'm sure, whenever you see situations like this, obviously it has to raise a question in you. Why is it like this? After 55 years in exile, after 54 years of a Tibetan government in exile, why is it that people at the leadership everywhere, I would say NGOs, schools, the bureaucracy here, everywhere, why is it male dominated? Why would you think so? Why do you think it's like this? I'm sure there are reasons. If someone can tell me, you needn't be right, and I don't think there's any wrong when you're talking about gender, nothing is wrong, and I'm sure it needn't necessarily be right also. But if someone may just rack his or her brain and tell us, why do you think the situation is like this? Yeah, I'll go with him.
I think most of the heads are old-age persons in around the bureaucracy, so maybe they have more experience than the young ones.
Okay, more experience, which means they started early in the workforce, which I agree. For instance, to get to the top level, according to CT, you need to have this years of service and this and that. Why do you think women didn't join the workforce when men joined?
It was in the past that women were oppressed during that time, but in the 21st century now women are raising their voices. So I think gradually we'll have an improvement in that.
So you mean to say, okay, the CTA was initially set up in 1960. It really became fully functional in early 70s and all that. So you mean to say at that point in time, women were oppressed?
Yeah, and maybe they have less experience
compared
to the heads now.
Okay.
But now the women are raising up and getting involved, so maybe in the coming future.
All right. So you would blame the century at that point in time. Okay. Any other explanation? Thank you. Any other explanation? Yes?
Women are engaging in children.
Right. The domestic duties. The family obligations were so big at that point in time. But even today, if I may say, even today, you know, if you look at the scenario, okay, let's take a 10-year data between 2004 and 2014. I'm sure if you look at many, I think it's 46 female and 54 male, according to 2009 census in the CTA workforce. Why do you still see more male in the higher positions, despite the fact that they joined at the same time? In 10 years, why would there be more number of men at the senior section head level or the joint secretary level? Why would you? Why? Because number of women in there are like barely countable. Why would you think that? Yeah. Yeah. Okay, lol, stoche nang gongju mandani leson. Okay, 2 ways of looking at it. Okay, I'll just kind of rewind what he said. Thangwadi, women are not able to have a greater insight or foresight of their lives, and that's why their choice of professional courses is always flawed, and that's why I think we have like more than 60% of girls after school, they want to enroll into nursing courses, which I agree. Second, women are not really kind of self-reliant. The Tibetan women in our community are not completely self-reliant, seem to be lacking the conviction to actually forge ahead. They lack the vision that they should be having over themselves, and of the community, and I think the larger goal of a political struggle. Okay, won't chik sung sung. So, okay, I think that's arguable. Okay, now with you. Yeah.
나 비르지 소소라 미팅 직도에라 소소다 속신 담고다 보소리 담두가라 담가 미다 모시네 가지는 알로트 조이드 신 미수스미야 보하고입니다. 이내 콘소기 워 담두가라 좀 프로레시라야 이 뭐요 말해야 부모님도 카상고요 말하는 미와라야 니 까담두가라데 카푸치기레 부든조다 칼로 카리카토 스트레이트포워드 아니 콘소기야 까담두가라인데 야담두레 카리카토 칼라고 이렇게 숨마야 야쿠 라투레 부모이나 라투 말이래 뭔데 지그시라 한치기야 다 칼로 강 콘소기 미 토알라는데 슈게 지지로리시라 아니 근데 콘소야 스트롱소라 아니 슈메시고나 미 지내면 소소기 지루게래요 부모이나 지도 말이 미래라 마토 소소기 지마토 시킨데 지금 하게
Okay, all right. That this samjungune so nyongchor chikshegi It's kind of see and a belief experience that you've had. The kind of stereotypical notion that people have, our society has, of women and men. Okay, that handa korange chik sungsu, morai chik sungsura. Okay, samju.
The Francis the 중이상에 the science lab stringent the Buddha woman chiashina woman the Pumachi the science day and asana production yamshi shares yamshi share this the dream there and the jima to do the jima that is Malayasian mounts and chapsing Malayasian mounts puro chata and then the Nesaba woman chapsing on the Nashu this new chigaro sponsor.
Okay. Wait, pomoji 왜? pomoki chapsi kangla thona nyunga nang dos lani. Ra? Okay.
가족 상태도 달라요. 부모가 family planning 주면 부모가
Exactly. Tang azu point la le pomogi lega inche susu khangtu chila do mogoya. Khangtu nangmin tharin bu do mogoya. Dinte ki damga chigiyor. Lega ine ta pomo laidi inche chembure. Pomo laidi choape yore. Sempa sangbo yore. Mila kushap chigi yore ladu. Ani meshap ki lega ta tumbu chungsu maso. Ra. Kanzu chungdan jiyo ra. Tanda pomo changma depa khang bet sosoki bet kora depa meshindu nursing la juwa dinte rwe. Marwa. Pomo laidi ta nganzo lagyor pu nurse landa chopcha la lagyor nganzo pu nurse landa lembu chi mindulani ra songzang chungdune pomo lana sorry kondara okay pomo lana nangleina chik kain chik suina chikla chik chisha ta nganzo menji chigo du la de pushda pomo jina pamaji gi rangsing tingbe shudalana sul lagre pomo dil lagre okay midi pass ke odu konta chiu chasha chaku kya ga dog dulana sula lagis chesa dindes chini meshap mangbu juya okay so la shu ngeba yewe ki samlo chitang thogu mindu so rangke phewa chi thogu mindu laidi khajin re lana pomu laidi nangle tolda satakta yor di maimba hakumasu laidi chikche pomu laidi so peta yo marda 카트에네 파켜가지고 계셔 티디래 탁최 째요 말에 라 김진 디체 보물라나 삼로 부수 더 보여르다 푸기한 링보 괜히 땅 토고 말에 라 소다 단다 코란 송에 디 오네 지소 강에 제 지소 강에 디 비메 랑기 세워지래도 토다에 기니즈 디네 지소기 쯤베기 강에 지래도 지소기 쯤베 강에직 따다나 모란송가 나시레 가리치닐라나 아마 차야디 랭게 빼쳔보레 낭 심란 모마이나 하우스와이프 라이 식디어 따 팅상간조 gender sensitive ki chizo shnanglola housewife la sik di phecho tangyo mare khatangore homemaker nang sunge nang tunge la hakshedrwa la digoro home minister ra la hakshede 내가 각슈 미 주 댐바 라 랑게 팽에 푸겐 릉분 삼로 땅 통에 지기 낭심 투레 마도 it all starts from your home 라 카리 이네 디기 겐디 보물라 망아실레디 부게 이네레 부국경에 이네레 라 먼저 단다 강길 내기요래 고원네 투바봐도 겨와게 미니자 내가 지기요래 나는 주어다 탑상 당시 수 주도 김이 주래 다시는 세 방치 수유도 나 시험 영어도 부주의 세 영어 쓰는 다 단다디네 공자래 보모 망체 메샤팔 주구도 보모 소소소 직 찹시 낭로레 냠쇼 지토구문도 이네 가인스나 지조 먼저 대시게도 가르시기어스나 찹시기 까와 이네레 리그네기 까와 이네레 벤조기 까와 이네레 추제기 까와 이네레 딘상마 띵자기 딩사디 지조기 딩자시레 social foundation led 케체시레 social foundation di sugi sure 지조게 society기 지조 수레 미 만창마 지조 지인들 지조기 딩자디 같이기 템포 메디 찹시기 까와 이네레 리그네기 까와 intellectual pillar economic pillar 벤조토니 이네레 딘조 nembollang thog mare nganzo mangbuchi gi khar samgyorsna 지조기 까와 벤조 까와 찹시 까와 리그네 까와 다 체리다 직 가리네르다다 직 딘데 samgyor nganzo 망체기 알레 릭서 터지 samgyor데 이네 온네 가르스는 그냥 숭와 딱다 찹시 톨레 보면 슈슈 부르토고요 말에 라 리그네 톨레 이네 슈슈 케마 망지 부레 라마투고 망지 부레 티 가르스나 뭐라 숭와나시 지속이 겐디 가지 기주 피메 갈레 되어 social responsibility rests on the women's shoulder so much so that it's impossible for her to erect those political and intellectual pillars 셴바 만스타다라가 시자 망골 거래 갸도 가상 예자 우리살 저래 우리살라 찹시기 깨자 파까마 숨주시나 수 집어디 소수에게 처와 신가 부적강 childcare center tawal gumung apke nyamje ki khish lagdo manchu phamati thu mundu ngada charo ke sing anslang ani kame chung une soso gi penjo da chiso gi nedang de shatak da maswe phado manchu chapsi pha shega jone pha mikya da sumju kuli meche da khunjo gi shejim thole chujo ni la sher ngara ni chujo chik so thiwa chujo chik gangja chulo gyagyo gi gunsap khadu ragire mum dunju mishra ma so gyada shibju go ye 라 아니 송야 직당 아니 셈바교 그랬삼네 아니 송야 할 생각나 랑제죄디 짜된 레데 인짜된 찍디 시자 살데 레스탄다 수든데 송기요래 다디 가르된 거 올라나 뭐여래 political scientist social scientist ki liar social foundation 지속이 딩자 디템포 메나가 안다 랑통 말와 지속이 딩자 디 같이기 껴있네 디지기 social justice movement 이네래 political freedom restoration ki movement in re as long as chizo gi dingja di kya kyo ge yedu di gangla puda pomo nijal kyen ge yores tandang anso chizo roji na chizo gi dingja di gi gen shupche phime khala ledu da shemba kawa dinzo langi deba yene pomo chapsi nalnyo shu chinget mande ya yorwe anso chidu wedu galtada pomo khajedo 당란 등에 nominations 날 khaje요래 이는 오늘 가져래 두고요. 알아서 쩨바 개도 알아서 지도 낭롤 촐링 체도 다 그냥서 쇼쇼게 마가 굽게니 요르데 숨레 두고도와 끼우레다스 라고도. 니 가시인스나 굽게니다 인기레스. 라. 고 겨울무치 독지까지 인기다 믹스에 샵갸란 독스라 요르데 랑마 게니 시 가진 보물레 두고요 말에. 언제 샵갸 딕단디 따와 이나 보물 두고요서 부시. 디메네 보문갈 풍갈리 고야직 로아. 보모든서 친데 메르베 마레 겐킹이 만데르베 이니 딘조 지조 낭로기 부메라 따조직 니 yenche du shugyo mar yenche yo mar ngan su chiso ngunne pe masik kewa sangbo kokap sangbo nude chikre nuba demba chikre te ine chiso tengla phomu thola tacho phomu thola cha shakdang ki lukse sugyu ine re kapre yang ngan su chocho ni pejun din de lengyor kewa jema phulu lemba sho ra phugi kewa ne la phomu gi kewa ngapke nyanggo re la din de right? Ang shemba mene khasara nga chu kya kambal henge tholing chi chini kemen la sik de kala nga tholing mangbo dros khanda kewa membala ni sikti ruwa ta mangbo chi ta dinde chi lo ma pham dinde chi sem shu ma cha ruwa ta thau ma na men de samap ta ma na men su phugi me phomo khasin chus re mare khati ne phudil pha shabdek drup denge pha chik phen tho thunge khachini tampelo yore. Behind every successful man, there is a woman. Manda yung sigirwa. Behind every successful woman, there is a man lagi. Tuzujik obviously. Kubyadi, kora gyawar tables has to turn. Re mare. Okay, tanda kyang gongja yakpulle santang ansu chuduji gogo chi ten tu do mendo. Ta kyang sungda. Kyang cha kyang ba? No. No, can you take chance? Okay,
나 상태가 아니라 나 시간이 있다 내가 지금 저 가진 애들 말이야 이게 있다 지금 가로 팩터로 봐. 팩터 망고지. 가신 양다 버려 하는 거다. 오케이. 아 가신 좀 지워 있나 봐. 나도 이 경제에 세워 있는 게 지우만 줄 거야 되는 거죠. 나 지금 까다버 지속이 왜 땅아주 지도 들어왔다. 저런 지도 준준이 거. 까다버리기 넌 너를 치고 싶으면 쉬어서 하는 거죠. 네 놈이 쇼 사줘서 뭐냐? 미리 가로 내가 사이콜로지라는데 쉬운 얘기 친구 되고 딱 보면 하다 보다 가진 이걸 용말했어. 이걸 용말하는 되어서는 다 단다 something 용제 용말도. 딱 가정한테 사이콜로지가 이펙트에서 지속되고 있는 거야. 다들 지켜도 건 소득이 쌓는 로가시 단도 선바 나시게 다 용거 맞다.
Right. 딱따라 지속이 뉴슈. 이네로와 오케이 드링크 사용 가샤 추다 남시기게 사용 가샤라나 아주 제요 말에 사용데 마갑에 베진 제요 말에 갑 사교디 수 가지 칼라오다 시들 hin자라 오르 사자디 쇠요 말때 이 치소레 소셜 레디 소사이티 레디 카리스나 규와 탭 투에지레 말에 things are constant in a society. It's not static. This is static. Di gywa tang thung mare nga zo. Yini gender constructs gywa tang thung re. Because kya sungwa na shi jizo sejo chire. Jizo mi re. Mi ki samlut ne dang gywa tang wa ina. Jizo rangshin gywa thegi yore. Song zang tang nganzu ki beijing kha chigi yoresina. Ta tanda pato pepa pomu shu nyang sha bu kepsan ra sha tsa nin la gyo mare. Ni gong du shu na shi re. Jizo kewa sangbo tande chala. Chapsi kangyo jiyo re. Pyo nanglo la ne dang 오늘 자차야 지역대 가서 대라 오늘 고급 셴발레 망아 갑레 positive discrimination 란 범물랑 고급 망아 열 땐데제 규제 깨와 상부 딘데 지유도 간조 nga마네 노르교 라 눈주 지교 딘소 랑식 쩨답 제기 고급 지도 면동하죠 social foundation 디 nembo 직딩 투나 범물레 같이 뉴된 차투나 시솔 케베 요레 깨빠솔 랑시 half the population kyacha ngapchu member re yangna ta gendu paso logar ma do yangna phomu ledi phujig samdang weina either sosoke ama pingya girlfriend wife thongmo thokpege thongmo ngansangma human web channel yor we're all webbed indi de phomu chik sa thakta yona digi khachi gore chizogi dingjadi sade sugiyor 지속이 등자 nimbo studio 가서 폭견해. 말해서 탑세대라 투빈 스튜야. 등자시 레슨거도. 오마 1995라 비메기 생 토셔기 레가직 지요. 나버서 계속 투게 여나. 베이징라 UN Conference on Women. 4th UN Conference on Women 수레 1995 September라. 비멜 헨소기 디네 쿠섭드에 베준 치레. 파게라 베이징라 Dre bezun chita machi chini di chungdu da dewe chokche Shemba Kuala Lumpur da Indonesia da kasal changmal nyamshu chire. Yini eventually, as expected, the visa was denied. They lang anzo IC kala gyana la visa pemasi khakpo yindu chapsi ki legu chindu te yo marte yine kap didu khares na pime lenzo gi yang la mangbo chinga zo chi longba le yedu chi gegap kha shi di pime gu pa Beijing la do che ani shiwe gi ngogo silent protest phage la chungdu khoti chinge gyana shung ki thakpadu dicha diyor women ministry pime gi ministry dicha diyor Quran 속에 척자와 창말라 레 낙보 시테래 송도 데베 베베 피메든서 카치르스나 레 낙보 디 칼라갈 안 소소소 락바 탐안 차와길라 뚝 슬랑쇼르 까망아른갈라 The 1995 the year of Tibetan women la year 카이스나 디 신디 게 게요 마레 nguyo mar khakku chiyo mare 송도 고디 긴낭교 레 낙보 디 칼라갈 아 보모 굴 락바 탐 차와길라 뚝 슬랑데레 아 미창메기 갑교 남보데 다 갑디디 BBC 다 상만 anglo di nezu di chungdu chu 1995 rang la chino khonse kyam kun chimbu chogi pemelen so ge chokje chikla kalop kharin nang stu shiwa ina tang zo tizwe di leshas pebe pemegi geji dingja khangla sengs pembe lega chiye tizwe di leshas ro dinte chungbegi nima chikla ani nga kyarum buche po de ba chasa race the day when it happens I will be filled with pride lani lochurgungel sungre kalopdi so I think it's really high time that we make this vision of his holiness possible ra konsuchogi chana chikshure gongba cheyor pime thola I think it's time we as a society pime ki kange da pime gi neju di pomuchibu gi neju mare chizo gi neju chire tade kyan sungbana shire kange di sangma kharudosena chizogi thotaya da chizogi samlu tangdang ki kengi di shuge sange khari ine di kengi resha sungwana shi ta pomuzo ngaranso chizogi dingja di nembochi sena a rangshi chizo dingja ne ya bur suthen che ani chapsi ki kawa ine re rigne ki kawa ine re pencho ki kawa khwa khasala pimele thuya an ngone geji dingja le seng suthen ki khukap jiyor nganzola ta thanda rojina Syria, Iraq, Crimea, Middle East, dinso langanso dinte laga jona yungu mare mi gimu shogirsu hinga so tapse shinal yugi le kewa sangbo gi tüse yundu a very fortunate times tikla degi yudu tampel yore nima shartu ani zadun so tuk scams lani Make hay while the sun shines ladu ni khadu ni kharishigirasna right now the sun is really shining angzolo khogap de changma du samgdo tang ara rojina di thola ni tongane chini bejen chiriyore thanda darin khasayine ka gyutangi mangboyore kera chapsi gi lega tinso machiwache ani bimege topdan zugu durslan dinte ka gyutangi du gashegi bet yigi nyemba dinte chine tang anso chizo nanglola choga gi kangi du choga sum du chulu Shinga dinte du rangje de umai thapsesh du takkuji Sharling Dadon la poda mogi cheba dikhe masero chislani dinte yi leg dungala ya khasara kharsungslana ta pimelenso di chegoe di machi che dinte lega chi digdu chokpa di gogyashan takta relani dinte yigiles tein nganzu khari gosogdu sina pime thola chik shedi di chizogi nedun jin bachik 단단한 건조 하고서 지속이 랭게날 팀자 레네기 담가 지에이네 레 라 소소소 직감하라 랑에 처음에 인데레 지속이 인데 전부 쉬워지도 딘선의 랑신기 칠된 차에게 내당 차게 요데 세우레 송자 비메기 뉴슈 덴바 뉴톱 덴바 단단한 건조 겨울미지 투제까지인데 센조 비메 직속이까지인게 비메라 고급 쉬워지요레 디 롱스 쮸 투야 라 먼저 지조 랑기 슉지 갸나 랑싱기 지조 ngaranzu gyachesal nganzu tapse changmala phentuya geje chembu jiwadi ngansemla jana di toptang mare toptang danyam yore tandechal toptang chegwe yo mare yini chizogi phimela stereotype ine re social construct dinzo cheden chechani ngara su chi so chi de nang lo la mi bum chik ta tongra ni sap tin re ni dong gu shi su ina thi sum la chi ge kap le yore kya ga la tongra dun chu de nga la ge yor te ni dong chok sum rang la ngan so mon got la ni chu chung re chup shi rang la Gopalpur ta songje lapta ta ding ngan so she ba re ta ma sha ba kha che yor ta na ngan so ga nang lo la December 17 la khari chung so Uttar Pradesh la pet Barudan la phime chem tan pet hang chig lan hang sang ge yor te in ngone Uttar Pradesh Chief Minister Akhilesh Yadav ki la re mimbur si shi UP la phime la crime nyu inda la ngan so mimbur si shi pe masi mangbu re sha mi tongra dunju nang ne ha kho be ki ne ju logic la ni sum thundu kya ma su ne per capita pe masi chimbu jimba de seure ta thanda ngara so tap sang ni ngan so chiso na ni ju chung wa ta kya ga sang gyu ki ha khoya ti pe masi nyu re sha kesi dinte chi lang che thada UP ki rape case in re Delhi ki December 17 ki rape case nashi geji tingja ga le wa yina ale ngan so shemba ta pas sha kya na len khari kya hai ngan so 파기 낭롤 직 지기도 아주 비밀을 깨고 톱단 떼기 민도 비밀을 땡자 민도 비밀 집어든 줄을 숨겨 민도 라비어 때 나라서 지소 랑 낭롤라 dit상마 지소기 강해 social evils dit상마 crimes 라 미치기 닌제직 인도 진짜 상망 아주 간데 슬레버레스는 아주 삼로치 땅 바이나 땅 앞중 하고 공을 배우긴 땅데 로가래 인간 앞중하고 제를 센조 딕수나 아니 간수 개충산 인간수 지소 낭로라 낭로 딱십 지바 이나 inner reflection 지바 이나 상마 가넬레들라나 미기 삼로 당전이 보물라나 아니 독로 약보 진 빵보 진 교용 거래 짜 담고래 라 아니 북 망보 예서라 개목기 침부 쇼래 요 말에 부직부 라기요 말에 보모이 라기요래 아마이네 보물 ngaran slapja tinte shikya gi yore jesan thanda women activists chi khalar lana I wish that the women would have power not over others but over themselves ra anso kabre ngaran so phomul rang gi phomul chi gi kang pa thya la sok pa thang phomul chi seng su them ba da lega yakpo chi chidu an so ma gi cha thak to chini ngaran so nanglo la inte chigi yo de seure ngaran so chiso din sangma kharlana chiso gi kange song sa ta ngaran so gi thanda gender thola thangbo go chuk ti ngaso male female ne go chure dine stereotypes le re ra stereotypes de kha chigi yo re sina ani stereotypes din so mi gi tawa nanglo le jin it's embedded in your ideology in your thinking samlo nangzo mi gi nyenga chi she mi gi samlo de re kinds of thoughts breed actions. Samlo ni gotsuni langlen dugu yudu. So eventually thande chala nganzo rimbe kange ta shenja yore yine delel haga nganzo lo kukap shiuj yudu. I think we really need to cash on that moment. The kukap de leni kinds na lochu nishu jela nganzo chapsi gine dan dije rang de goya ki kapki resam gu mendu 단단한 아주 튕긴 상보 고급 상보 고도 약보치 대 고양 아주 찹시 까뇨직라 유디 it's constant it's always changing 라 다와직 닝을 단단한 수기 middle east라 첸 딱바리시 버제 게기레 수삼기어레 다와직 닝을라 단다 이라크라 딘제 강이 체이레 수완치 쳬발리오 말 제장간조 political movement 찹시기 쩌뇨직라 유디 the future is so uncertain so now is the moment. Thanda kukap yore, manzolo tunge yore. I think it all starts from your thinking. Nuba chishe, the most powerful aspect of your body is your mind. Ho indes chinda chik samlo chik kortuna samna zu gender kala the keja share ta koto te de dinte chire thama del ra ta jema misu ki keja thigi yone ra sex the gender parula kheba khare yore slani keja thiwa ina 얘기 레닝 셰시 닝 지셰치라 디레스 통스노 예 테마 티처와직 넘버 2 키시 데시가 고사다 딘데 레바이나 카스치타니 젠틀 레 등아 진주 치소 참 마렵다 변항로 레 디톨 톨링 페 뉴뉴 인서캅 디드 삼로당 와이나 송서 단데이네 젠틀 레 칙디코라 니동 툭라 시네레스 Tenju pimi diksu gi gender ki tsemba chisu ne chine. Des chisu ne chine. Ta gender le dengan so kwa khasa le thuya. Kaisa kangin karisna takchu mangbo chik chidu. Gender balance me du. Takchu di mangbo chigi kebala rangshin ki keben dugu yo di sewre. Songza ani pimi diksu gi nyudong thug lo la gender ki desk ra gender desk lan chiksu re thande chala khona la women's empowerment desk la ne pime nishu khongbe ki chemba lan nang sin hanga wal yore di mase nyudong ge lo la kasha ngwe ni pime nishu khongbe tangya la ani siju samni Tenzin ge chewegi siju ngone pe masi ga chembo kongba yakbu shen cham yore cheza gender thola ngan pe masi sawa indu kesi chila deshe ga goya da dinte chana ro sex the gender purul mang je kya thangbo gorani gender khare la di sex male female ratio imba right sex difference ra so di khar tulana differences socially constructed differences and disparities made on the basis of one's sex level so sex is la ra what is between the legs. Right? Number of some stand, right? Sex lana color yore lan tang anzo mangbo chik sex law da into malap shoot into chigyo ngalongoma. Kinds of anzo sex in terms of verb. Nami sumbarwa chele. Ondil sigiyora. Sex in terms of nami thangbo. Noun latsa wena. It's what is between the legs. It's biological. There's nothing to be ashamed about it. Gender is what is between your okay? It's what is between your ears. Amjol khari khodo. Pomolana dinde. Pulana dinde. Kansungana shire chik kodi an samlonal zuyor. Amjonal kodi an lebakonal gogo techen dinal tenjaj dedu. Antanda kansungana shi pimelana rangka pewa mewa. Chelepagi lopjung chima tunge. Sososol mi pugyang ringbo simma tunge. Changma kachin chunglisna. Kainsna gender gi nishu di chetane. Di nanglo langa jo thona manga chini. Poda mol tacho sikcho kari inere. Right? Just a deshe shipta laureta. Dordu kaseshi jinge di resam good chilla. Manzo deshe gagwe ki netan chawa ina. The negi she the tagarai. Ani number so that to be sevegi rewa yerwa. Ani the tanda to this chiguna. Ya did not David, Jishi the David and Tibetan Chixamzu, the Jacarina and Naro Chishui.
The community genders and the community Kanyan and Neta, Chitan, the Kanyati, Maransugi, the date Nanchuo Mare, Zabrinki and Chikuma, Holiday in Neta, the Kanyati, woman and beauty, the Nazumi singing Maransu, Kanye Chasha, and the Hatu Tachika, Mazuba, Ya, Giboshi Betu, Tajik Stage, Giboshi Stage, Tabina, Mazutan, Hansan, whenever. Zenju ki ani chi su shu shu dineshi na ya mo ya bi da bu ki bu sam mo ye ni de chi sam bu ji bi ra ko me ka nge to chin na cha sha na da ai di ni ne ka nge de sam ma ka nge sam sha sam me ba ka nge di gyurim da di gi chung yu zu zenju che ne ma zu di me ba so ya bi ta shi wo le sam yu ta be ne cha sha na ka chi ma da shin ga le ya da ta ra re ju shi da ra ni de chi le ya sa ju ni ni su jo ya ko ra and that the capsule Shijana, you can be the capsule as a company and the committee to British war. Continuing in the Kodo is the she chicken on a sheen, anyone ever to take it up on Yabu be money. Yet, there are some things about them, and Zuki is somewhat of the hot. You make it go to some Tanda to Sasha. We make Manazu Gira Luguna and Sugi and Sadema. We can suddenly get easy to chew you want to get. And he beauty, sick, and collaborate. Lundu to jetty by Grimcher, Suzuka, and how to do them, having anything to Shabra. And National D, and to get looking on Sasha, Carnage, I need to finish that much 이번에 개별 유디 성면에 보면 와 이와 실체는 연세요. 이 너번에 이내에 비면 부분 접수도에 진행 말에 비면은 접수는 지요. 주문 어디서나 비면도에 조스 주문을 이게 베징 노면이나 디나에 비면지게 개별이 접수도에야 예시예요. 나 이내에 시스템에 맞 중지에 딱 내가 개별을 주네. 아니 두시에 나 저기 분명히 강의 때려서 보면 이제 강의들 특히 거기야 다시 남아서 다시 예약 수준들이 안디 기초도 그런 거 말이야. 야마디스야 그러니까 말하는 선수는 이 말이 내 말에서는 그 키워드에 이내 주소 슈킹다 뉴슈 관계 아니 얘기 지난번에 갈리를 구급다 그 상황 같이 이제 안디를 강의 지체에 보이스라 안디를 손자 니토를 약다 소수원에 가르치 무슨군다면은 한번이다 뭐 지도 나랑 되게 개발소서 가만히 놓고 좀시디 만족이 지도 다 같이 야오지 얘는 사대 용가가 디 마용이는 이제 디가에 강의 지우리서 부분에 대해서 언디스 말씀 주시는
터치나라 오늘 단단 안속이 디제시디 개기요레 갸하타다스라 갸가이나 사티레 요레 다우리레 요레 보친지 갸가 I think 갸가 찍부찍라 단다 파동에 노르메나 사야 숨주 수영아스 찍다 female infanticide 라그라 보게 히마찰 낭로레 뻬마시 망보 딘제기 강이 독자요 말에 ngazola ngaransu chizo deina yine tanganzo kabre-kabreya ngabju ngagu khongi deshe dinje chamcham goyongyore goyongdu ya chik ngaranso gi neche nepap nangchu khelenge ro chizo sangbu di tsushi tende kange chik yore samgudu in thandang anzo di thola chik tholing chie da sabchung tie digi kange chik du sangya bezin chigo du lai di gaja sumju chire samgudu gaja dunju karesna pimela nuba dudas pime de ngazo tapche nalo godu pime chelepa chagodu range pewa chagodu pime gi chizo dingjanne ani kawa shimba dinzo nale jushu chigodu digi gongbadi gaja dunju shene shecha lecha dinzo chamgi yo the engineering in proactive re dinzo forward thinking chizo yarge chengi chizo gi number chik imba this siji re samgudu ngaraso 샵시 기 탑스에 찍라 여신도 내든 딘제 간라 내가 지에기 고갑 누바 듬바 차게 퉁게 상마 여에디 깨와 상하기 뒤즈직 딘데 레 아주 깨파깨마 니잘라 아주 진짜 지소 호나레 고갑 뱀마시기 상보 찍라 ngui 유딩 아주 마음바 줍고에 미유디 갸체체 디네가 체인데 갸체 딘주 딜라체 갸체 숨주 딘데 지소기 따초에네레 지소기 공바 시다이네 레 락렌토니 칸다 yenche ram machine yeta chi yore samgudo ti ta thanang azu kamanga nang khajus thens ti nang lola ra ta number chu changma ina lopchong chinyungyo re tendugi chi khodo tap changma yore te hine samji dinde chi clear ngaraso in nganju gi ngune mi manga di ani 시작하 dinde le yodi seure pena nidong chungi lola 우리살을 두디와 싱가탑디어 갑디디 아니 젠더 칸라 sabjong chi pomoni jala 아니 불레가 치대죠 리모치티 pomul레가 치대죠 리모치티 라니 쉐 총송 아니 pomul레가 치교 창마 부다교 칼라 쇠교 딘제레샤 낭짱마 쇠교 부 loklela 대교 폴리세교 부친지 멘다기 제모세교 라 딘제시레샤 리모치랑싱에 만자 통스 카르도 세바이나 리모 찍장 디낭로라 아니 부디 싱갈라 렉 하고치 보면 술라 따데샤 리모디 땅아 얌첸스 리모딩에 술라 레 다젤라 미창망 아주 민갑지 냥아여 티 창맥이 소소스 리모데시 가스 보몰라나 아니 보고 개치시레 보고 어마테디 개침부레 낭라 칼라스요레 교가 내가 지닐리디 칼라 차우서제다 보물 랭게와 소인데 데시기도 교가 딘조이네 탑상디 야부 주는 디기도스 낭 아마딘조 시 주도 마치나 야 도스란다 쿠란소 노레 쉬기요 마르코 남바즈 수원나 시리 지속이 조시다데 지속도 뛴자 시기요 소셜라이제이션 프로세스 디 용거디 내추럴 레코가 갔을 인땅이 리모디 렌체 리모디 칭이 암라 치레샤 암라 캬 찍보기 파티 만다 레샤 포초가 디레가 치 포모디 독스타 데샤 디 데시스 갸다스 니 쉐천소 안 데시 가이가 시바이나 다 팅사 우리살레 차르드 랭아주 싱가 dutabni ani mege yes ra kabri langko gari yore yang langko gari thingsam khongchimbu yede ngaran so phokhoga din joki dinjes chigi ale shugle insa phurwe ladi mare darla mare thanda nganso ki duti tap member gyadu bupe mangbu shigiyores so puji ki chewa ina dikpa yo mare nga phomorwa nge ki member gyani busena ani nga dikpa yores la deshi dikyas puki busena dikpa mewa phomogi busena dikpa yo de call thidole personal thidosons sigi thireshi sangi jomne negi thiresongdo thiyo stestashi kaise kemngore moranang kemngore dida me sons ani lara ngangomani indes kodesha sons ra chikpa chikyang anso khasa ya sabjong jongda chikte khogap chirasu an chumasogi ani gendu pata chumala ra thawada anila kewa khatula khorans anila de kecha mangbo nguchocho chilo la thadi chela chozo mele chizu chekas thadi chela gorgire thawala ke bombo omchu chinge koine dula denge ra takchu chinge kembo inde sungudo so kabre nganzo nizu mangbo chik ni khoni pass down information the shukche tane mune soso 이제 다 예반예베 토네 니주 고도디 교고 유디 아 랑신 가시고 얼스나 지속이 등자 지속이 망시디 교와 셴바 라 누바 충아직 되게 요디 세우 시우치레샤 섬고도 젠저 톨레 이네 레 단당한수 지속이 포모 기네밥 톨라 계자시에 이낭조 닝아 툭 링가 냠도 정다지 냠도 장에 지레마도 단다 치수 찍다 까마 쫑아 스링갈라 탁취 투에 인제도 요 말때 이네 딱 한다 드링기 투두라고래 간수 정다 친주디 간수 펜주니자 넘버조 이네레 ngaral 이네레 아니 냠요 약부 직사순 섬그도 펜주 파주 ngaranso 고도 이네레 니주 파주 체다 제시치에게 고급지 약부라 섬그도 안 창물로라 약부 베센수 투지 체슈에이 아니 카운트톱기 가지고 젠더 톨라 초와 덴베 치투야 아니 비메솔라 깨빠다 깨마니제기 심슈레 투야 가지고 지솔 가지니 비메 레투고요 말에 랩살라와 딩안서 삼로 땅니 아니 비메솔라 슈게 비메주이네 나르게다 닝도 만다치키네 안 수수고이네 직 가리낭조이네 가리 베준 지바이네 징닝 르바츠네 나야디 덴데 안간수 창말라다 케베 지 요레 섬고도 아니 디 제고야기 따단다 드럽 니사지기 비메기 겐구니지기 드럽지기 디저스널티디 먼저 베베 비메이네 아니 드럽 니랑 갈디 게지 딩자갈 생스템바지 제투야기 아니 베준 시고레 섬고도 덴데 두그레 섬고도 안 창말로 터치낭 안 저올라다 나버니 그것나 터치